Tucson,
an Arizona Lotus Corp radio station.
you want it, you got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live from Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Friday, May 2nd. Good morning, Valdez.
I'm Valdez.
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. We're going to wrap up the week strong with a bunch of friends stopping by. Tickets for Disturbed in the 8 o'clock hour and a lot more. So I'm excited to get to this show, and I'm excited to get to this weekend. It is technically our Cinco de Mayo weekend, even though Cinco de Mayo lands on a Monday.
Ugh.
Which I know. And trust me, bars hate it more. But that doesn't mean people won't be going out and celebrating. And even more importantly, I think this is the first official pool weekend, swimming weekend, where people are going to be going out lounging by the pool. It's going to be warm this weekend, and actually, feeling pretty good. So the barbecue season is upon us. And I know
for me, that's year round.
I know, but you're a grill master. So I will suggest anyone out there who's going to throw like a pool barbecue party, especially if they have like a lot of like hot women laying around and they need a barbecue master. My friend Valdez is a pro. He barbecues and grills like the best of them. And, every like large man is usually designated to the barbecue, right? And when you spend that many years behind the grill, then you become the man of it. Now, I first realized that I was a large man when I was going to backyard barbecues, and then people would just come up to me and be like, so you got the grill?
They just hand you the tools. They're like, you got this, right?
Yeah. It's like, it's either, are you going to go swimming with your shirt on, or are you going to go man the grill? And I'm like, I'll go man the grill. So I got pretty good too. I'm not Valdez good, but I'm good nonetheless. Let's start off with a story like, do you ever buy lottery tickets every now and then?
I just did, yeah.
Okay, which one? Like Powerball, Mega Millions, or Scratcher?
Yeah, all of that.
Oh, how much did you spend on lottery tickets?
I just $20, man.
Damn, dude. Yeah, that's a hefty idiot tax. They call it idiot tax. But
I get quick picks of stuff, and then I get a scratcher.
I get it. I think most of us too. You're just like, that's our only option. We're looking at like retirement and, like, what are we going to do in the future? Let's get this lottery ticket. Let's roll the dice. But, lottery winnings do happen, apparently, to real people. Sometimes people that probably shouldn't get the money, right? In a case of they never should have gave you money, let me talk about a 50-year-old man in Kentucky named James Farthing. He just won $167.3 million in the Powerball jackpot. Yeah, him and his mom, and he was presented with the check on Monday. Okay,
Wow.
So it's Friday today. So he got presented with the oversized, you just won $167 million on Monday.
Oh, wow. That's like recent.
Recent, like literally Monday. It's
Holy
fantastic. Hell. And, he accepted the oversized check with his elderly mother and his girlfriend. His girlfriend, actually, not that bad of a looking woman for James. James is weathered. He's an ex-convict.
Oh.
Yeah. But he is splitting the award with his 77-year-old mother, which I think is, smart, nice, but at the same time, you're like, hold on to this for a little while. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? He'll get it back in less than 10 years. Anyways, you would think that James, after doing this, has matured and is a new man. But maybe not. Like, again, this is a tale of they never should have gave him money. On Tuesday, one day after getting his check, James was arrested after a fight broke out at an oceanfront hotel that he was staying at in Florida. So on Monday, he claims an oversized Powerball check. On Tuesday, he's on vacay getting wild. Now, I can relate to James. I can't say that I wouldn't do the same thing. I don't know if I would just punch strangers, but I definitely would be on a beach. All right. So James had punched at least one guy. That's when a sheriff's deputy stepped in to break it up. That's when James kicked the cop in the face.
Oh.
Yes, the cop was dazed and bruised, but he'll be okay. James was later arrested for felony battery on a law enforcement officer and 2 misdemeanor counts. And now he's in even deeper trouble because the arrests violate his parole. Just got a get out of jail free card. Be like, look, man, your life is going to change for the better. You could live like the 1% and, travel the world and whatever the case. Travel everywhere you can with a felony. But you have enough money to try to overturn that? No. He's like, I'm going to stack up another felony. He's currently being held in jail, and it's unclear if he's going to be sent back to prison. So imagine this scenario. Imagine you win $167 million. Immediately, your mind's racing. What you're going to do with your life, what you're going to buy, all the different kinky sex you're going to have with your girlfriend, all that fun stuff. And then you go to prison. And I don't care if they give you 3 days. That's going to feel like 3 decades when you have $167 million that you can't spend.
You could buy so much ramen.
Oh, so much. Well, yeah, he's going to be king of the yard for sure if you don't get shanked in the neck. Just another case, just stupid. And this is not even our morning moron, right? But this is a picture of James and his girlfriend. This was his girlfriend before he won the $167 million.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
James. Is he honorary Florida man since this happened in Florida?
You know what? I was contemplating that to start off the day, but he's still a Kentucky man. Close enough, but it did happen in Florida. But unfortunately, he cannot be dubbed Florida man based off the strict guidelines that we provide here. So he's a Kentucky guy, but one that was incredibly lucky. And sometimes, you are too stupid for your own dumb luck, and I don't know if there's a silver lining there that can make us feel better about ourselves moving forward. We're not as dumb as James, but he still got $167 million. $1 million of that's going to go to a defense attorney. He'll probably get out of jail and then blow the money probably within like a couple years or OD. All right, that was Five Finger Death Punch here in Rock 1 2.1. We're live on the podcast broadcast, joined by a full crew here. And when we come back, I'm going to ask this question I want you guys to think about. The things that improved your quality of life so much that you wish you did sooner. Okay. Oh. Yes. So this is a good list. There's lots of little life hacks that we have, came across as we've grown up and been like, damn it, man, I could have been doing this whole time. Mm-hmm. We're going to be breaking that down after music from Nothing More, but keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/BeFegan. Already know. All right. So yeah, I had to do a little tease there, interrupt that crazy story. Did you hear about the man? Our opening story today was about the man who won $167 million on Monday through the Powerball, and then got arrested on Tuesday for kicking a sheriff in the face.
Well, he's got bail money.
He's got bail money, yeah. And he was a Kentucky man who won the Powerball jackpot with his 77-year-old grandmother mother, and said he would split it. He's 50 years old. Immediately goes to celebrate with his girlfriend, who's okay. I thought she was okay. You thought not so much?
She's for him better.
Yeah, for him.
She's better than him.
No, I mean, she screams first wife energy for sure. Especially after you win $167 million.
What is first wife energy?
Well, it's like hot for you. That's first wife energy. And then hot for a multimillionaire, that's a different level.
Oh.
Yes. So first wife energy doesn't necessarily have that pre-surgery, pre-op.
Something about Florida makes you into a Florida person, even when you're not from there.
Yeah, he technically could have been a Florida man, but he wasn't, but he did get arrested in Florida. But when you're in Kentucky, you're like, I want to go to a beach. What's the closest nice beach? It was Florida. He got wasted, punched a guy in the face, as you would. You know what I mean? I got a mugshot here, so you guys know who we're talking about. This is what I was showing on the podcast broadcast stream for our show open earlier. So the guy on the left, his name is James.
No.
Yeah. See, no. And then that's his. Dog. Yeah, but see his girlfriend, right? And just his girlfriend, right. Not wife yet. Pretty cute for James. Now, the thing with James, what really fucked him is that he was already a felon out on parole. So he wins $167 million while being out on parole. This is the American dream. Oh my God.
That's what I'm striving for when people talk about the American dream.
That is at this point in
I'll
life.
let my mom know.
Yeah. At this point in life, and the way things are kind of panning out, that's our only option. How much you got saved for retirement?
Girl, yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. You might want to holler at James, but so his girl is super hot for James, but still screams first wife energy. She is ride or die, though. She did get arrested with him. So, I mean, James should take that in consideration.
Did she kick him too?
Oh yeah, she was beating people up too. And again, they're just rich, and the whole quote was like, they never should have gave y'all money.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
A couple that trashes together stays together.
Legitimately. So, all right.
They
And so,
say romance is dead.
Are you going to the Sugar Skulls game this Saturday?
I'll be there.
Oh, you are.
I will be there.
Are you
Just
going to be the
insane.
long snapper?
I will not be the long snapper.
Boo.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get killed. And honestly, the only type of long snapping that I'm really into is like punting, long snapping.
Yeah.
There ain't no punting in IFL, man.
Oh,
So
yeah, no
I'm
punting
kinda
at all.
Useless.
Yeah, because if you punt it, then it's pretty much out of bounds, you know.
It's called a deuce.
Yeah,
If you make it through
that's
the
the field
poles.
goal. Yeah. I mean, you can kick a field goal from the 1 yard line on your side and make it, which is amazing. You know, that's always fun. It's difficult though because the end zone doesn't give you enough running room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so you're there. Are you covering it?
Yeah, I will be
Okay.
covering it.
Okay.
On Daily Star.
Nice.
All right.
Now you can see how many clicks and stuff you get on different pieces that you write up, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we have the tool to do it, but I don't know what my stories are doing. All I do know is like if a story does well, there's a recommended for you tab.
Uh-huh.
And usually if your stories are in that window, it's doing well.
Oh, nice. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're getting a little behind the scenes of how the technology works for the Arizona Daily Star. Of course, Justin Spears from ESPN Radio is a writer. He's the official beat writer for U of A football, but he will be at the Tucson Sugar Skulls game this Saturday as they face off against the Arizona Rattlers. And then covering that for the Daily Star too. So they're like, might as well just go out. You cover all thing foosball. But
Pretty
you
much.
did get the coach literally reach out to you to ask if you would be the long snapper in between writing up a piece for the Tucson Sugar Skulls.
Yeah. I mean, I was just on Instagram one day.
Yep.
Got a DM from Billy Back, the head coach. It was like, hey man, so we need a center. Can you play? I mean, obviously he was joking.
Kind of joking. I mean, they say there's
he
truth.
He saw your video.
Yes, he saw the long snapping video. Was like, hey brother, we need a long snapper. And I'm like, well man, I haven't put on pads in like a dozen years,
Right.
So I don't think I can help you out there.
Yeah, it's like just because I'm wildly accurate when it comes to my long snapping game, and it's a skill that I developed as a young man that hasn't gone away, and I still might be the best of the best. I don't want that full contact experience.
Dude, I'm the long snapping Uncle Rico.
Yes.
I can snap a football over the mountains. I can snap a football a quarter mile. But if I play center, I have to go one-on-one with a nose tackle.
Yeah.
And listen, man, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to go up against a 6'3", 330-pound dude one-on-one. Like
From the Arizona Rattlers.
From the Arizona Rattlers.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
We're talking about, you know, the great debate is the 100 men versus one gorilla.
Yes. Which I saw a lot of CGI on
Me
that.
going up against one of those dudes, I'd be like the first guy going up to that gorilla.
Yes.
That's how he would look.
Oh, not good. Not good.
So,
Yeah. I just watched.
I don't think so. I think you're not giving yourself enough credit.
okay.
Yeah.
Well-
You got a little bit of girth behind you and stuff,
Some-
you know, and it's the
You
arena.
got some rage in you. I feel that
Yeah.
you were like,
Okay.
ah.
I tell you what,
Okay.
here's what we should do. Because I want to do two things. One,
Get
I
your
want,
jersey.
I want to challenge you to a long snap off. Okay. You know, because I had some center skills back in the day too. Pop Warner, number
What?
66, no flex.
You weren't the 69 guy?
They wouldn't allow me to have 69.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. All right. And then, you know, let's say we get you lined up, right? Like you're going to snap, and we'll have Valdez do a standing like defensive lineman form on you, just so when you snap, he'll do the push just to see how you go up against Valdez, because Valdez can rival very like lineman size, right? And you play football.
I got my pads in the car.
He's got
I
his
don't know
pads in
why.
the car.
That's so sad.
You got your pads in the car?
Yeah.
I do. And my
That's
right.
so funny. That's like back in the day when we used to wear basketball shorts under our jeans.
Yeah.
So, you know, you never knew when
it's
like,
game
when,
time.
when a basketball game would
Yes.
take place.
That's why you guys would wear your basketball shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just always ready to ball.
Always ready to hoop
Yeah.
at a moment's notice. Like,
And that's
okay.
the same reason why I wouldn't wear underwear at all, you know? I'm ready. I'm just ready. What's up? You ready? I'm ready. All right. So let me ask you this question real quick. What is something that has improved your life so much that you wish you did it sooner? It's a question that went to Reddit as well. And a lot of people put a bunch of great things on there where they're like, oh, yeah, I forgot a life before this, and it sucks. Like,
Give me an example.
my example was having blackout curtains. buying blackout curtains improved my life so much in Arizona. And like, I don't know how I lived life before blackout curtains in this very sunny state. As far as sleep and everything else and air conditioning and the coolness, like I'm like a polar bear. I need it to be crisp with 2 P's, crisp.
See,
Right.
I only have my room crisp when I'm staying at a hotel. Like if I'm at a hotel, I put that joint down to like 65 degrees.
Yeah.
But if I'm
should.
at home, that thermostat never goes lower than 72, 73.
He's
72, 73 is
He's on the
still
ceiling fan only.
Yeah, but 72, 73 is still low, dude. I don't go below 74. I'm more frugal than you.
1 degree.
No, 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or sometimes 75. Right now it's on 78. I'm wild.
Yeah, I'm there too.
What about you, Valdez? What's something that has improved your life so much you wish you did it sooner?
Oh, this is dumb. I actually use this. I saw somebody make omelets in a Ziploc bag, and I do that now.
Omelets in a Ziploc bag. Okay, so this is kind of like a cooking hack?
Yeah, you can make like multiple omelets in multiple bags, and you have a boiling pot of water, and you put them in there, and it makes them into like the shape of the little omelet log, and you could cook multiple ones at the same time.
So you do these basically like half Ziploc bags, right? So they're kind of like not perfectly square. They're more kind of rectangle.
I use the gallon ones, and you could do like
Damn, that's a
3
big ass
eggs.
omelet, dude.
Yeah, bro. And when you come to Fatty's house, you eat.
Yeah,
That's
no, I
it,
get
man.
that. I get that. So you boil your omelets.
Mhm.
I've never heard this before, but this changed the game. Okay. So you put in the eggs, right, in the bag. What else you putting in that bag?
Whatever you want, meats, veggies, because everyone wants something different.
Right. Okay. And then you just drop the bag, and then you take it out, and then put cheese on it.
Yeah.
And fold it.
Yeah.
It's like a sous vide omelet.
Yeah, that is weird. Do you there's people on the stream that agree with you right now?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
pointing at Justin because he.
Sous vide, man.
Okay,
It's like a
sous
meat
vide.
jacuzzi.
Okay, yeah, but well, I mean, I'd have to see it to believe it. This is a little off. I've never seen this or heard of this. Well, amazing though. All right, what about you, Yas?
I can't think of anything.
I'll give you some examples here.
I got a couple.
Oh, you got a couple? What?
Yeah. So, well, speaking of cooking, I actually found out it's pretty effective to bake your bacon. You know, people usually put bacon on the stovetop.
Yeah.
But if you put the bacon on like tin foil on a pan and you put it in the oven,
Yep. Best bacon.
it's still really good. And on top of that, the bacon grease, you know what you do? You fold it into the aluminum foil and you throw it away. You don't got to worry about the bacon grease, where you're going to store it, all that.
Doesn't clog your drain. Most restaurants bake their bacon.
Wow.
And that's why you're like, oh, how do I get my bacon like this? Bake it, dummy.
That makes me sad because in my brown house, we save the bacon grease and you put in your refried beans later.
Oh, yeah,
man.
you do that.
You
Yeah.
do that too.
You cook with everything bacon grease, honestly. But I mean, if you wanted heart stoppers, but it is delicious. What's another thing?
As far as like just like feeling good about yourself, jumping into the pool as soon as you wake up.
Oh, ice bathing.
If you have a pool,
Yeah.
or
I
have
don't.
access to a pool like early in the morning,
Right.
as soon as you wake up, go out and jump into the pool. It's kind of like a cold plunge.
It is
wakes
cold
you,
plunge.
It wakes you up, and I've been doing it now for the last year, and it's amazing.
It's gonna suck in the summertime when the pool weather is perfect, you
I
know.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get in and you're like, I don't even want to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Daryl Strawberry taught us a really good, when I was a kid, he taught us a good life hack. If you're ever too drunk, you just do a bump and then you sober up, man.
I knew you were going to say something like that. Well, or, I was hoping you had a crack joke in there. So here's some examples here. They said on the list, giving your eyes a break, right? So you spend a lot of times looking at screen. So, rest your eyes every 30 minutes and focus on something 20 feet away. It helps with eye strain, which can cause headaches, tiredness, and even depression. And I think that's something that's good for both of you. One, because Justin, you're always writing for the Arizona Daily Star. And two, Yas, you're always on TikTok learning new dances, So also they say moving out of your hometown is a good life hack that people wish they did a lot sooner. But no, you guys all grew up here.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love Tucson.
Yeah.
You move away for a little bit, but you always come back.
I don't always.
I went to NAU and then I had to come back, and then I went to Phoenix and then I had to come back.
That's true. All the three of us are NAU alums.
Mhm.
What's up? Yeah. Lumberjack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jacks.
Okay.
And two of us have been in the Coconino County Jail, so hey.
Yeah. There you go.
Weird
Represent.
flex.
Yeah. All right. Well, what's yours? Add to the list on the podcast broadcast stream. We're going to continue the conversation there. When we return, we'll switch it up a little bit and have film critic Herb Stratford in studio. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA.
Always excited for Justin and Herb. Never
Clear.
realized.
Now we're clear. But yes, I love that. That's a good branding right there. You know, every time I say Herb, honestly, it's great. It's great for him. Great for the show. Those audio brands, if you will. I see.
No, I'm going to leave right now. I don't think I'm going to be able to see Herb.
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 Oh, that sucks for
Gonna dip out
you.
too.
I know. Well, I said, okay, well, you guys have a great one. And just remember everything I said.
What?
I don't know. So
It's
but
going to be
remember
May?
it. It's gonna be May.
It's going to be May.
I'm not gonna replay that video of me killing another rap song this morning.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Sunday is May the 4th,
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Day. Are you a big Star Wars fan?
No.
Okay, me neither. Are you?
What?
Are you waiting for someone to say yes?
Yeah,
and then-
like, you know.
Yes, I
yes.
am.
Okay.
Yes.
What?
Hold on.
Because I was like, I'm
say
a-
this again. Say this again. I'll record it as a speed break. Here we go.
Hey, so Sunday is May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Beef, you a big Star Wars guy?
Not really, but yes is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. What's your favorite movie?
I don't like to. I knew what I was walking into. I knew what I was walking
For the
into.
sake of speed break and conversation, just I'll edit it. Just say episode 1.
Episode 1.
Episode
I
one.
was going to say that.
Phantom Menace.
So angry.
Darth Maul and Company.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a good movie. That's actually the only Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
What?
Actually, no. I take that back. Revenge of the Sith. Saw that one.
Now he's gonna list every Star Wars movie ever made, dude.
He looked you dead in the eye and said, I'm not a fan either.
I've seen two. I've seen two.
I was like, "Where's this going, Justin
First of all,
Spears?"
I only saw Star Wars because as an adult during
Okay.
COVID. I had COVID, and that's how I started watching those movies. I did not watch them growing up. I was in a relationship with a guy for 8 years, and he never showed me Star Wars, and he was a huge fan. Nothing. It wasn't until I was on my deathbed with COVID watching Star Wars.
Now, well, they say you can't get into heaven without completing the original trilogy.
I'm in. I almost wasn't.
All right, Star Wars. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Herb, that's right. All right. While we reset the table for the man, the myth, the legend.
Herb, I have to go, but
All right, we're going to play this clip. We'll be back with Herb Stratford right after this. Stick around. It's a story. There's a bizarre anti-aging some Asian countries going on right now, which involves tattooing bright pink circles on people's kneecaps and armpits.
What?
Yeah, that's what they're doing to prevent aging. And I'm like, bright pink circles on kneecaps and armpits. How does that prevent aging? I don't know.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, well, after I get tattooed this weekend, I'll ask you how I look, but I don't think it'll work. Anyways, police in Connecticut say that flatulence spray somehow ignited a panic and stampede at a carnival. Imagine you had
What?
deadly farts that were chasing you, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like, I gotta run for this fart, man. Now, thankfully, nobody was hurt, but this is the first time in recent memory that a stampede was ignited because of a fart and flatulence spray.
A human stampede.
Yes, dude. They're just like, I can't deal with this. All right. People in Utah are shocked by a report about a 7-year-old boy who somehow took his younger sister out for a joyride, driving his mother's car 10 miles through several towns, and incredibly, no one got hurt. So this kid was the man in a way, maybe a future race car driver or, criminal. So what was the youngest age that you took your parents' car out for a joyride?
You know what? My dad would let me sit on on his lap and drive, and I was like 7 or 8.
Right. I did that with my daughter around, neighborhoods and stuff. I did take my parents' car out when I was like 14. And one time I went on a joyride where in 8th grade, this kid, Mike, took his parents' car, picked us all up before school, drove us to school. And then it was like, we should do something today. Right. And we're like, yeah, what do you want to do? And he's like, does anyone have any weed? And they're like, no. And then my friend Charlie goes, well, I know a guy who has weed in Flagstaff. And then we're like, all right, well, let's go to Flagstaff. So then we drove up to Flagstaff.
No way.
Yes, and it's a long story, to be honest with you. Now to sum it up, we got back safely. There were a couple close calls. It was a hell of a day. And we got into a lot of trouble for sure. In fact, actually, my mom beat my ass, and I was so high that
You didn't feel it?
No, I was smiling while she was doing it because I was just too high. And then she just kept. She's like, "Don't you smile at me when I'm beating you." Just kept going, man. Yeah, memories. Grand Theft Auto as a kid, you know.
Isn't
We
that
all been
crazy?
there.
When we were little, we wanted to drive so bad. Now that we can drive, I dread it. I'm just like,
Yeah, then we get DoorDash. Even though this is like the restaurant we're ordering from is like 3 blocks away, but like, someone else can bring it to us. Final headline: according to a dubious new study, 95% of single women agreed on one thing: they want to be approached more in public.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. 95% of women, according to this study, want to be approached more in public. I talked a little bit about this yesterday, saying it kind of makes sense because of the digital dating age. We're kind of over being catfished and half-fished. So, they want to see males confident in the wild. And good luck for that, huh?
I mean, I can try.
Yeah, I know you can. And honestly, you go to dates on all the time. And what is Valdez's secret? Confidence. It's no secret at all. What was the last woman you walked up to confidently to ask for her number?
It's been a minute, but that happened to me reverse at the fair. So.
Yeah. Oh, you still talking to her?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Look at you, Poppy. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Suck it up, go up to the pretty woman in public and just say hi. Don't be creepy about it, but, approach to start a conversation. You feel it out from there. But first, always look at the hand and see if there's a ring there. You know what I mean? That's what I always do.
Yeah.
So what I do is I check for the hand, right? It goes hand, eyes, boobs, butt. In that order, right? So hand, married, not married. Okay, cool. Moving on to the eyes. All right. Nice eyes, nice smile. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Back down to the boobs. Turn it around. All right. And then make the move from there.
Mine goes butt, ring, chest, eyes.
You go butt first, dude?
Yeah,
Never go butt first. Because that's when you get your heart broken over and over again. Because you see a butt from behind and you fall in love and you turn around and you see the ring. You're like, oh, man, I wasted all these emotions. So never go butt first. All right, we got your F My Lifes coming up next on B Figure Presents. Keep it right here on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Here's Blink-182 with Damn It. All right, we're back here live on the podcast broadcast. Let's get live on the air. Here we go. Nirvana, all apologies, Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's Friday, and it's Friday before May 5th. It's the first weekend of May. That's a big deal in the world of movies. A lot of big releases come out each and every year around this time. And join us in studio here on the podcast broadcast. We got film critic extraordinaire, Mr. Herb Stratford. Good morning, Herb.
Good morning. Nice to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. Let's talk about the first big release here, and hopefully it's a return for Marvel to be a form, right? There's a lot of buzz about Thunderbolts and its potential fun. And the fact that they're releasing it this weekend should be a sign that they believe in it, right?
Yeah, it used to be that this all started with Jaws, for those who don't remember. Jaws was the first time a movie was released that became a summer blockbuster. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, this is a window, right? People are going to do this. And that was 75 or something. So it was a long time ago. But anyway, so it keeps creeping back, right? So it used to be May 25th was the big release date. Then it was mid-May. And Here we are, May 1, May 2, right? It's pretty early. But yes, you're right. This is Thunderbolts with an asterisk at the end. And I don't want to ruin it, but they definitely explain what the deal is with that by the end of the film. And this is, in a way, the quick pitch is this is Marvel's version of the DC film The Suicide Squad, because you have a group of antiheroes and sort of, B characters, right, who have been in other films, but they've never really sort of carried the thing by themselves. And so, will they be able to work together? Will they be able to, to get the job done? And also tying up some threads, because we've got some really big stuff coming out this year. Fantastic Four First Steps, some other things happening. So we need to sort of wrap some stuff up and figure out where the world is, the Marvel universe. And this is 89. I mean, I'm happy to report that it's good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's great. I would
Okay.
say it's better than some of the stuff we've seen. Like I like this much better than Brave New World, which was the Captain America movie a couple months ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, by all metrics, that's sort of bombed and flopped, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it made some money, but yes, I don't see a lot of like potential in that future franchise.
Yeah, no, it definitely, I think, was the sort of the out with a whimper of the Captain America world. And I mean, that's just because everybody loved Chris Evans as Cap. I mean, there's nothing against anybody else, but it's just like, is somebody else going to be Iron Man? That's going to be really hard.
I know,
right?
It is tough, but I do love this cast, and especially the characters from the Marvel universe that they're bringing into Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan, of course, Bucky, right, the one-armed man. Wyatt Russell and his version of Captain America, right?
Yeah, because he was in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, the TV series. He was the real Cap for what, 5 minutes or something?
Yeah, just 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then initially, Florence Pugh and David Harbour, who were together in what was that movie?
Black Widow.
Black Widow, right? Okay, so that's good. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus in there as some sort of power figure or head. And, forgive me, comic book fanatics out there. I understand the importance of that character. It just escapes me.
Yeah.
So it's a great cast. And who do you think kind of shines through when you have such like an all-star cast like this, right? There's got to be a standout in there. Who really steals this show?
I would say that it's more Florence Pugh's movie than anybody, just because she's sort of the central heartbeat of this. But honestly, David Harbour is there for comedic relief. And he has got some great lines, he is just the one, when everything feels tense, he'll say something, you're like, okay, cool. This is the fun Marvel, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about DC. Nobody's having any fun in DC movies. Marvel still does that. And yeah, it's definitely, it did not disappoint. And I think, and again, I'm not going to ruin why, what the name Thunderbolts comes from and what the asterisk means or anything, because that's just a big part of the movie. But if you're a Marvel fan, and then I will say too, do stick around, because there are two scenes. There's a mid-credit and an end-credit scene that tease stuff that's happening later this summer, and you're not going to want to miss those.
Good. We're bringing that back
right.
too. Yeah, absolutely. Film critic Herb Stratford, arts and culture guy on YouTube. We have more Be Vegan Presents on the way, so keep it right here. Here's a Lincoln Park with the Emptiness Machine, but you can join us on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/BeVegan. Be Vegan. /Be Vegan. All right. So we're going to do another review right after that. So that's good. Even though I'm not necessarily 100% a fan of David Harbour right now, but for personal reasons,
What, like Lily Allen stuff?
Yeah,
what?
Lily Allen stuff, dude. He broke my girl's heart. Lily Allen was on the top of that list for a good most of my 2010s, early 2010s.
Yeah.
God, she was gorgeous, and she's and she seems fun.
Yeah.
But he's a freak nasty, apparently. I mean, what I've been reading, like this guy.
Which is so funny because, his persona coming out of Stranger Things and everything else is just so middle of the road, right?
Right.
I mean, like dad figure. And then you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So
I know. And it's crazy. He's a smoker too, but he's he goes by on the Raya app, which is like Tinder for celebrities.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which he's on. And he was on before he even broke up with Lily Allen, this son of a bitch. His bio is kind of like real life nerd on screen tough guy. Is something like that, right?
Okay.
Is what he goes by, and apparently gets women that way, like Lily Allen. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's funny in person, charismatic. Maybe I'm a little bit peanut butter and jelly. I'll be honest. But
Not a peanut butter cup, peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, peanut butter cup and jelly. Which who's a celebrity you're peanut butter and jelly of because of their romantic life? Anybody?
I'm in awe with Barack and Michelle. They're like the ultimate.
You gotta read the news, man.
What happened now?
Not too current. I mean, there's a lot of speculation that things aren't all that it's cracked up to be right now. It's like right? Like a lot of people are speculating that they are broken up or there's like trouble in paradise kind of thing. So as far as relationship goals, Barack and Michelle, I'm like, you're going to read the news later on and be like, Barack Obama arrested for domestic violence or something, because they are not getting along, dude. Apparently or allegedly. It does seem a little, their their lack of togetherness is speaking volumes right now as far as public events and stuff. I hope the best for them, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was a very funny example there. I much rather you said Herb and his wife
That's
just
what I was
came
gonna
back.
say, I'm like Herb and his
There
wife.
you go, from Cancun. Or you were in Cancun, right?
We were.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
we were.
And you were there for a whole week, or
It was like 5 days. Yeah.
that's good though. And so your wife went out there for like a work thing. Only really had to work for the first 2 days, and you had 3 days of R&R.
Yeah.
R&R. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we did some, and we hadn't been in about 12 years. So we went back to some of the Mayan ruins that we dig and had some beach days. And it's funny, they had to close the beach.
Yeah.
Because there was crocodiles.
Oh, the Mexican crocodiles. You don't want to mess with those. Rock 102.1 KF, man. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Now, real quick, before we get into our next review that we're going to talk about, Herb Stratford just went back down to Cancun with his wife, had a nice little trip down there, and you went to the Mayan pyramids. But they changed how tourists can visit the Mayan periods, right?
Yeah.
Pyramids.
So 12 years ago when we were there, you could actually climb the pyramids, which
Right.
was really cool, right? Now, you can't do that in Egypt or anywhere else, but you could do it in Mexico. So we actually climbed. It's the tallest pyramid in Mexico 12 years ago at Coba. Well, now you can't, and you can't at Chichen Itza either. But they were telling us during the tour, and Coba's amazing. You get on a bike and you ride through the jungle, and then these pyramids are there. Anyway, they said that they closed the pyramid to climbing, not because of tourism, which you would have thought because people are carving their names or something stupid, but because people during COVID, they had to have masks on and they were huffing and puffing and it was dangerous. And if you fall off this pyramid, the ambulance is 5 hours away.
Oh,
Okay.
So that's fair.
Yes,
Wow.
during COVID, 100% fair.
Yeah.
Well, did they get the memo that COVID's been over for about 3-4 years now? You know,
Yeah.
like
And-
we're
and-
past it.
And they did say it may come back where you can do that, but you couldn't. But I'm just glad that I was able to do that then. But yes, that was cool. And then, as I mentioned right before we went on air, they did close the beach at the resort we're staring at because it's right next to sort of a mangrove, and there's a family of 9 crocodiles.
Wow.
And so they have guys on binoculars, and when the crocs come out, they make everybody get out of the water,
Wow.
which is a little bit intense.
Yeah, at least they got a guy with binoculars there,
True.
And I'll tell you the difference between me and you. Like you go down to Mexico, you see the Mayan pyramids, and you're just like, oh man, they closed it, I can't climb it, right? And you're genuinely disappointed. Me, I fake it. Oh, we can't climb that giant pyramid. Oh, I was so ready to climb it too. I swear.
You're doing stretches. You got the
Yeah.
headband on. Yeah.
Well,
I
see-
came down to vacation and exercise. Oh.
and the real reason they shut it down is because the Mexican government's actually installing a slide. So when you get to the top, you can just come back down.
It'll be a slip and slide.
Yeah, shoots, pyramids, and ladders.
There you
My
go.
favorite game. It really is. All right. Well, join us on the podcast broadcast. We're going to talk about the movie that's coming out this weekend called The Surfer. So that's going to be a Nicolas Cage movie. So if you want to know about the latest Nicolas Cage movie, join us youtube.com/beefvegan. More with Herb Stratford coming up after music from Offspring on Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, back here live with Herb Stratford on a Friday. Lots of movie options this May weekend. With that, there's a new Nicolas Cage movie. I didn't even see this coming. He always surprises me with a new movie, does he not?
He does. And I'll tell you this, Nick Cage, he doesn't always make the best movies,
Correct.
but he's entertaining in the movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, this movie, too, it's like, it's not typecasting. It's called The Surfer. And then the opening scene in the trailer is him walking with a surfboard. Is he a professional surfer in this?
No. He's just a guy that shows up at a beach. He wants to bring his kid to this beach where he used to surf. And so, it's a normal thing, right? A dad-son thing. Of course, then there's these surf Nazis there, and they're just like locals only. And he's like, well, I used to be a local. And they're like, no, get out of here. And he's like, look, I just want to surf with my boy. And, they pick on the wrong guy.
Oh,
right?
no.
So.
Yeah, you don't piss off Nick Cage in any universe.
And that's the thing. It's like sometimes, like I mentioned before, like, you're hoping for a Mandy movie, which is just absolutely jaw-droppingly, amazingly crazy, nutty, and not a Ghost of the Wasteland or whatever that other garbage was that he made a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So this one is firmly in the closer to the Mandy thing where you're like, yeah, I want to see Nick Cage take these guys on, and I want to have a good, and this is perfect up the alley for Father's Day, right? Coming up in June.
Yeah. So this is a good movie then.
Yeah. It's 85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
And, it's actually playing in Cannes. So, I mean, it's a big deal.
Talk about the comeback of Nicolas Cage. He
know.
he was Mr. B movie icon here for a good decade. People kind of forgot about him in the mainstream. He never stopped working, continued to, work on the craft and pick outlandish, crazy roles, and sometimes just accept the paycheck. And now he's coming back. He's getting pretty good offers sent to him and delivering some pretty stellar films. So 80 something, what was it?
85 on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, think about, I don't know if you guys saw Pig, but that was a brilliant movie. It's like he's making really interesting choices, and I think he does it based on if he's interested. Right?
Yes.
He's not just like, oh, I'm not going to do this because it's not going to make enough money or it's going to hurt my career. He's like, no, it's a paycheck. If I have a good time and it's something I'm interested in, I'll do it. And so he's just crazy enough to be entertaining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love it. And I'm down for it. So he can keep making these movies. I'll keep seeing them.
Yeah, this movie looks crazy. It looks fun. Critics are saying that we'll have Nicolas Cage fans cheering in one of the best roles of his career, which is fantastic. Nicolas Cage flexing his range. The man has played everything in the past, and now he's even conquering the role of playing a good father, which, it's got to be a stretch.
Yeah, based on his parenting of Jor-El or whatever the
Weston.
name was.
Google Weston Cage and be
yeah.
like, wow, I almost believe Nicolas Cage was a good father in The Surfer. That's how good of an actor he is. All right. All right, more with Herb. All right, I already pressed stop. So Herb, The Surfer. That's good. I just want to get a little pun in there. Ba-bam! And it wasn't even a pun. What am I talking about? It was just a Nicolas Cage burn. And somewhere out there, Mari just shed a tear out of nowhere. Yeah. And she's just like, what? Because I just shit on Cage.
Oh,
yeah.
I miss Mari. She's never around anymore.
She misses you too. She'll come in one of these times.
Right.
My phone just lit up. I was like, is she texting me? It was a light week for the ladies of Beef Vegan Presents. I mean, we had Kendall in. Yaz just popped in. Mari was in on Tuesday. A weirdo started up her salon. And she'd been swamped all week long. So no weirdo at all this week, which is a bummer because it's always great when she pops in. But we have such a, large crew that, makes it match. We didn't have you last week. We replaced you with someone else. Probably someone.
Who do we have last week?
Someone younger.
I got sad. I was like, oh, no, Herb.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I almost walked out in solidarity. I'm like, F this.
Yeah, but then he looked down the hallway and he's like, that's too far. I'll just stay.
I was like, no Herb, no deal.
No Herb, no
and then
deal.
the bagels showed up and I was like, well, at least there's bagels.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like Herb who?
All right,
I love Bagel Stratford.
Yeah, let's see. All right, let's do KWSS 93.9 here with film critic extraordinaire Herb Stratford. He also reviews and gives us a heads up on television shows. There are two things that went to Netflix, one this week, one last week. Let's talk about the Netflix releases. Let's start with last week because you want to focus on Havoc, right?
Yeah, Havoc is awesome. So I don't know if you guys remember the movies Raid and The Raid 2. Okay.
No.
Amazing movies. They're martial arts movies where like this police force has to fight its way, the first one, Raid, into this building, this apartment building. It's full of like these crazy drug dealer, like martial arts experts to get to the big guy at the top. It's an amazing movie. When I saw it at Sundance, it blew my mind. Anyway, this is Gareth Edwards, who's gone on to direct some other high profile films, but this is him coming back to sort of action films. It stars Tom Hardy as sort of a crooked cop. He's got, other cops that are along with him, Timothy Oliphant, other people. Forrest Whitaker plays a guy that's running for mayor that's got a checkered past. And there's this deal that goes bad. And Tom Hardy has to find this young girl and try and protect her from the dirty cops, from the guys that are the Asian triad that's trying to kill them because there was a cocaine deal gone south. This is a really awesome action film. It's not as good as The Raid, I'll be honest, but it is a solid film if you want to see Tom Hardy and a whole bunch of people just kicking,
Yeah, I think most people love seeing Tom Hardy as a badass.
Yeah.
So that's the role that he's meant to stick with for at least another 10 years.
Yeah.
Until he can't anymore. All
Yeah,
right. So
yeah.
that's out on Netflix. Been out for a week. Hopefully you've been able to check that out. If not, definitely add it to your to-do list. And now there's a television series on Netflix called The Four Seasons. It's an 8-episode series. What are you stoked about this?
So, it's pretty good. I'll tell you, the cast is really great. So you've got Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo.
Oh, dude, I'm in. Yeah,
Right?
I'm way in. What are you talking about? That's an amazing cast.
It's a crazy cast. And basically the story is it's 3 couples and they get together over the period of a year, 4 seasons, and they're basically getting together at little vacation that they meet for vacation and they hang out together. And like some of them met in college and dated and got married and whatever. And so you're seeing these relationships evolve over this period of time, over the 8 episodes. So it's definitely more of a sort of adult, sort of adulting, you know what I mean, like relationships and managing, like
it's not slapstick comedy. If you're expecting that from Steve Carell.
For example, Steve Carell, he's married to a woman that's age appropriate. Well, he gets divorced and he marries this young hottie.
Good for him,
right? And of course, that screws the dynamic up.
Ah, yes,
right. And then the ex-wife sort of starts showing up to sort of, mess with him at these vacation spots. So there's some funny stuff. I mean, I love Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Will. They're all great, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit low. It's only at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's something, if you're with your mom on Mother's Day next weekend, turn it on, right?
Okay, some fun.
Yeah,
especially if you're a fan of Tina Fey or Steve Carell. Yeah. I mean, it is an all-star cast, and it looks like this is a 1 season and done, right?
Yes,
8 episodes.
Yeah, and it's basically it's inspired by an Alan Alda movie back in the 70s of the same name. So and Alan Alda has a little cameo in it. But anyway, it's definitely something you could watch with your parents. There's not a lot of explosions or people getting punched in the face.
There you go. 2 things coming to Netflix this weekend that you can sit on your couch and binge. Thank you, Herb Stratford.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting back on the air here in 12 seconds. And to the guy on YouTube, why is the channel named Beef Vegan? That's my name. That's why.
Is it bad I read that in a Russian accent? Why this name for sure?
And it could be. Yeah, it could be Russian.
Could be a bot.
Yeah, it could. Well, it's not a bot, but yeah, it's we're getting comments on YouTube. We're reaching a global audience here on the podcast broadcast, which we welcome. But someone did ask why the YouTube channel is called Beef Vegan. And that be the name. So that's why. It's pretty simple, I mean, Beef Vegan presents. I'm presenting Valdez. I'm presenting Herb Stratford. Yeah. I put him on a silver platter,
That's the only way to serve up Herb.
It is. Well, and with a side of Chianti and fava beans.
That's right.
I'm more like super nachos. You open up this styrofoam container and there's paper lining. I'm like, hi.
I'm Valdez.
Yeah, I'm Valdez. Now I'm hungry. Honestly, I'm like, oh, damn, super nachos. Yeah, I know what I'm doing after this.
I'm hungry, too.
All right. Well, when are you not? All right, let's get into this next release here from Herb Stratford on Amazon Prime, starring America's most hated actress. Will this save Blake Lively's career, or will it add to the fuel to the fire of canceling and just finishing it all once and for all?
Well, I will say that I feel like it's meant to distract. You know what I mean? Release this so you can stop talking about Justin Baldoni and me, right? So here's the deal. This is Another Simple Favor. This is the sequel to A Simple Favor, which also premiered on Amazon Prime maybe 2 years ago, where Anna Kendrick plays a woman who's sort of a mousy mom woman. She's sort of intimidated a little bit by Blake Lively, who is, the other glamorous mom at her kid's school.
Right.
And she sort of befriends her. And then this whole thing unravels where, there's a murder and who's responsible and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, very well received, directed by Paul Feige, who also did Bridesmaids, but it's not funny. And basically, so then you just knew there was going to be a sequel because it was so beloved. And of course, then Blake had all this drama about all of her, evil ways, her mean girls ways.
Right.
And so this is a sequel where Blake Lively all of a sudden is going to Capri, the island of Capri off of Italy, to get married. And she invites Anna Kendrick to come with her and be her maid of honor. And she's like, wait a minute, I sent you to jail, right? So why are you you're bringing me here to kill me, right? So there's that sort of undercurrent. There's, other people in this film, but basically it's the relationship between the two of them. And I will say, Blake Lively, wowza. It just,
she looks fantastic in this movie.
She is a beautiful, there is nobody. She's such a beautiful woman. She is so glamorous in this. Her outfits are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But she's still got that mean girl energy. And, you're trying to figure out what's going on. There's a twist that I'm not going to ruin, but it just ruins the whole thing.
Oh
You know,
no.
The realization at the end of this, the culmination of this is so ridiculous. You're just looking at your watch going, how much time did I just waste?
Oh
watching this?
no. Well, that's
So,
not good. Yeah,
you know-
yeah. Basically, you talk this up so much,
I
and then
know,
you're like,
I know,
and at
I
the end, it
know.
will ruin everything.
I got to be
so.
honest though. I
Okay,
don't want,
that's fair.
I don't want to waste your time, but I will say if you want to just have it on and turn the volume down, just have it on in the background.
And look at Blake Lively.
Great eye candy.
No, if I want to look like women, look at women like Blake Lively and be like hot, but also you could tell super bitchy. I'll just go to La Paloma or whatever, Las Palomas or La Encantada.
La
They're up
Encantada.
there. They're
There
up
you
there.
go.
Yeah, something with the law.
That's true.
They don't allow me up there. I live in Midtown, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
go
true.
I go to Law Park Place Mall. So. All right, but yes, do yourself a simple favor and probably avoid another simple favor.
Agreed.
All right, well, we have more coming up with Herb Stratford, wrapping things up with the beef tip after music from the Chili Peppers. Keep it right here on Rock 102.1 KFMA or join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. There you go.
Yeah, you built it up where I was like, oh, is this like White Lotus the movie? And then you're like, the end, you'll just want to like eat a gun.
Yeah, dude, eat a gun. Yeah.
No, and you know what? You're right, Valdez, for bringing that up because everybody's
Ooh.
trying to capture that White Lotus vibe. And so you definitely get, oh, how beautiful Italy is. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
definitely that. And I mean, like the wedding reception is just ridiculous. Like you've never seen so many flowers in your entire life. And she's marrying this guy who's got a mob connection. And so, there's all this sort of B story stuff. It's just, I don't know. I was not a fan. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
And maybe it's not for me, right? Maybe this is
Yeah.
the kind of movie. Every movie is not for me. Maybe this is for people that are,
that like stupid twists that ruin fucking movies, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Dollar Tree White Lotus. You kind of see the,
exactly.
you're like, yeah, you're just piggybacking.
Right,
Yep,
right.
exactly.
But this is a sequel. So the original, did Blake Lively star in the original? So, okay, so this Anna Kendrick, Blake Lively, they're in the first one.
Mhm.
So you would recommend the first one over the second
Yeah,
one?
I would
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, the first one was good. It was way better than the second one.
Yeah,
and I
so-
just hope they don't make a third one because they teed it up where you could potentially see that happening.
Yeah, like, I mean, how many times can you like fake murder a chick or tease murder somebody? That's,
I mean, and the location helps, but no, it's not enough.
right. Yeah, she did look good in it though. I was seeing the trailers. I'm like, well, her and Ryan Reynolds, good looking couple.
Oh my God. Like the most beautiful couple ever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
I know, but you think they're going to be able to survive this with all this public backlash?
So I'm not in the soccer world, so didn't Wrexham just do some big thing? Because I saw on Instagram, I follow her.
I
she
mean,
was
there's a new
posting-
season.
Yeah, but she posted like they won something. Like they
Okay.
won whatever,
Mm.
and they're like walking around the field together, and with a team and champagne and stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's very hard with that kind of a spotlight on you to maintain normalcy, I think.
Yeah.
And honestly, what does Ryan put like 3 babies in that woman?
Yeah. and you should write it out. I mean, once you got 3 in them, then you should stay with them forever. That's the rule. Yeah.
I mean, so he's kept her, she's been at home for a lot of, now she's going to be out there. And I just wonder if she can survive this, this onslaught of, everybody loves to hate the power couple. So we'll see what happens.
Well, what happened this week that's part of the Celebrity Ragbag news is that Travis Kelce, who is Taylor Swift's boyfriend, unfollowed Ryan Reynolds on Instagram. And, that's blasphemous. Those are fighting words.
Yeah.
And so obviously Taylor and Blake were BFFs. They were photographed
yeah.
and filmed at several Chiefs games
Yeah.
and all that. So there's got to be some sort of falling out. And for you to not like Ryan Reynolds, there's got to be some more behind it, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what they develops on that. And that's how lame our lives are, that we're excited about it. And I want to know about all that tea. I'm like, oh, what happened? And then I look through my list and like, who's still following me,
Who unfollowed? Yeah.
Who unfollowed? I think there is an app for that, so you can see when somebody unfollows you in real time. But
I'm too lazy to care.
yeah, no, it's good. I'll
Hey,
still
it's
follow
their
you.
loss, Valdez.
Yeah.
I'm the one who has like, I have to make people unfollow me. I go through the list. I'm like, no, you're weird. I'm like, stop stalking me.
Yeah. You block. I mean, I finally blocked my ex, for like I'm like a month or two ago. It was a block back and forth kind of thing. And then I was curious, and I'm like, look, and I'm like, okay, like she unblocked. I mean, she's scoping what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna do her the favor, do myself the favor, just block, which is good, and just kind of move on in that situation. It took about a year and a half. Years, whatever. So some, takes some longer than others,
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. I'm not going to Cancun, but I am going to Rocky Point. And yes,
That's good.
so that's my go-to destination, my sprint to the finish line, if you will, my reward for the hard work of the past year or so, and super stoked about that. So when I saw your pics in Cancun, I was, not just envious, but I was excited because I'm like, yes, I'm going to be in Mexico too. And do you drink it up when you go on Mexican vacations?
Nope. No. I got
super clean and sober.
Oh, absolutely.
Just too busy climbing pyramids and
right.
banging and getting massages and stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Please tell me at least eat it up. Like, where do you go to eat?
Well, we were in this all-inclusive resort, so there's plenty of options. They actually had really good food there, so it was good. Yeah, but it's interesting. All you can eat. They make the portion smaller.
Yeah.
Smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
Do you gain weight when you go on vacation? It's only 5 days, so how much?
It's a good question because I actually thought about it and I weighed myself before, and when I got back, it's zero change.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Because of smaller portions.
Yeah.
I will say this though, the one thing that Tucson ruins is Mexican food in Mexico. Because Mexican food is so good here that your standards are so high that you're just like, you call this Mexican food, Chico? And they're speaking back in Spanish. You don't understand them. You know what I mean? But you can't tell them that they're not doing it right? Because this is we don't even call this Mexican food. We call this food. This is us. That's where we live. But it's no, you're doing it wrong, Because
talk to Chef Gary. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Chef Gary. El Jefe Gary.
That's right.
We'll show you a thing or two. That's how it ruined it for me. You ever go down to Rocky Point?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I haven't been since COVID, but we used to go down all the time and rent a house on the beach and hang out for a week. That was our jam. That was our go-to.
Yeah. You ever go to Luca's Chicken?
No.
Luca's Chicken is the best chicken that I've ever had. And the closest thing that reminds me to it, I just actually had some yesterday because I just craved it. It was the place, that little drive-through place that looks like it's straight out of Breaking Bad, the fast food chicken place.
Like that El Pollo Loco or whatever it is.
Yeah, but it's not El Pollo Loco. It's I always forget the name of this thing. But it's Mexican grilled chicken, basically. Right. Pollo Loco tries to emulate Mexican grilled chicken, but down there, Luca's in Rocky Point is straight up Mexican grilled chicken. You go there, it's like a straw hut, right? So it's all kind of outdoor covered. So, that's how it is. And then just one big grill with one guy, one grill master, just putting chickens on.
Is he fat?
No, it doesn't matter because he's working too hard. Sometimes he's fat, sometimes he's not, but it's just one guy who just he just has nothing but chickens on there. And when you go there, you this is what you get. You got chicken, rice, and beans and tortillas. That's it.
That's
the menu.
Feliz.
That's like In-N-Out, right? They're like, if you came here for anything else, you're not getting it. You're getting chicken. Rock 102.1 KFMA. I'm just preaching about my love about Luca's Chicken in Rocky Point, as we were talking about Mexico and traveling there and how delicious it is. So last time I went to Rocky Point was in October. And I took Rico, right? Rico's been to Rocky Point before, but he never got the tour. And I consider myself somewhat of a tour guide because I've been going down there since I was 16. I still love the town. Circus Mexicus happened in June 6th or 5th through the 9th. And tickets are moving slow because, with all the geopolitics that are happening right now, people are hesitant on will they be able to get into Mexico? And when I found out from Roger Klein, because he goes down there all the time, it's no, it couldn't be further from the truth. Not only is it easy, they're so nice and accommodating. They want you to come down there. They rely off American tourism, and the Lukeville border crossing is super nice and appealing as usual, right? So you shouldn't have worries going down there or coming back. But yeah, when I went down there with Rico, I gave him a tour of all the Rocky Point spots, but we stopped by Luca's Chicken and I talked it up, man. And he was just I talked it to the point where he's there's no way that it can live up to my expectations now because the way you keep verbally blowing this chicken.
And
we had the chicken. I sat down. I said, 2 whole chickens, 2 sides of rice, 2 sides of beans, a couple Mexican Cokes. Sit down. They're like, it's going to be 45 minutes. I said, I will wait 45 effing days. We sat there patiently. Bought some chitlins and got some trinkets and stuff while we're waiting from adorable sales kids and stuff like that. Got the chicken, sat down, ate it. He looked at me and he goes, this is even better than you said.
Oh,
that's how bomb it is, dude. It is the juiciest, crispiest, deliciousness chicken you've ever had in your life, man. So my beef tip to you before we wrap things up and head out the door is if you head down to Rocky Point, not only, be cool first off to all the locals, but make sure that you stop at Luca's Chicken and wait as long as you have to, because when you get it, it'll be worth the wait, and the payoff is definitely worth it. So hell, I might even just road trip down there for dinner.
There you go.
Yes, sir. All right. Herb Stratford, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Valdez, thank you as always. Check out Valdez this weekend as he takes over KFMA. Robin Nash is up next. You guys enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. We'll be back on Cinco de Mayo. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. There it is. Yeah. I played it. You couldn't hear it.
He's Herb.
All right, send me an email, Nessa. Talk to you soon. Thank you guys so much. Babuski.
I will knock out all your teeth.
Teeth. With an F, dude.